Good afternoon, this is Mindy at Half Moon Home Decor and Design Studio in Windham, Maine. Today I'm going to show you, just going to be a quick video. We're doing fabric chairs. These are the inserts that you took off your drop-in seats, maybe from your dining room, maybe you've picked them up on Marketplace, Craigslist, maybe you inherited them from your mom or your aunt. The point of painting this fabric with Annie Sloan chalk paint, of course, the color today is going to be graphite, but the reason why I chose to paint is because the seat's in good condition. So we don't have any sagging underneath, we don't have any fraying on the edges, the color's pretty neutral, and it's going to require about 2 coats of paint, and we will wax it. We're definitely going to wax it with a clear wax. It will feel like leather when we're done. You'll be able to sit on it. You'll be able to, it gets softer and softer. So what's going to happen is, if we look over here, we've already done 1 coat on this guy. And it has a little bit of green poking through here, but that's 1 coat. And these guys will have to dry for 24 hours before we can hit it with the 2nd coat. So when we're working with Annie Sloan chalk paint on fabric, we're going to use a spray bottle and get it at the dollar store or whatnot. I'm using an Annie Sloan natural bristle brush. This is our small number 8 boar hair. Mine's wet because I like to have it give me a little bit of glide going on, and it's going to work well with the fabric. We said we're going to use some graphite, which we've been working with all day. Graphite's our blackest black. It's beautiful. And I'm just going to show you what they're going to go with. So hold on one sec, and I will show you the chairs that we worked on today. And there they are. So with that being said, this is a French linen. Had to think there for a second. French linen and a light black wax mixture. And so if you put this together, look how gorgeous that's going to be with that chair. So obviously with a 2nd coat and whatnot, but it's really going to change it up. So put this back down on the floor, and we will get going on painting a fabric. So like I said, we're going to spritz it, and you really want to pay attention to all your nooks and crannies in here, your first coat especially. You want to make sure you hit every point of entry the first coat and let it soak in and let it absorb in, because the 2nd coat is going to be that much easier. Can you see how I'm spraying? And you can see the color change because I'm wetting it. And this is going to help your paint, chalk paint, Annie Sloan chalk paint, absorb into your cushion. Actually, not your cushion, into your fabric. So I'm going to go around the edges here and make sure that we get into the seam nice and good. Nice and good. That's not good English. All right. Paintbrush. Need a little bit of paint. And here we go. And the water that I squirted on there just helps. See how it's just soaking right in? The water pulls that chalk paint into the seat cushion. The piping around the edge is where my concern would be, because you don't want to have any of that olivey green poking up through. See that? It works rather quickly. The reason why it's working so quickly on this piece is because it's a flat, almost like a silk material, so there is no dimension to the fabric. It's just a nice flat surface that it's going to go into. And this piping is what I'm worried about. And so you can nestle, that's a good thing about these brushes here, is you can really nestle them in. They work with us to get the paint into the nooks and crannies. See right in here? It's putting the paint where I want it to be. See that? See how that corner is? And that's why it needs to soak overnight. Not soak overnight. It needs to dry overnight because it's soaked. It needs to dry. And then tomorrow we'll hit it with a 2nd coat, and it will just be a nice solid coverage. So I'm going to squirt some more water here. You can see that I'm quite liberal with the water. The water is what's going to help me pull it in. See how little we use in dipping with Sloan brushes? We're not using a ton of paint. We're just dipping a little bit, and a little bit goes a long way. Out of a quart of paint, you can get several pieces of furniture, whether they're wood, you know, or cloth. You can get several pieces done and accomplished out of those single quart. See if I can show you how. See how it just soaks right in? I'm being pretty liberal with the amount of paint I'm using because I'm looking for good, strong coverage. And you definitely have to wait the 24 hours. And if I wasn't talking, you know, I probably would be almost done, but I wanted to make sure I covered all the important grounds with you guys. Back to those important corners, because you don't want that olive green to come through. And actually, I'm gonna put my brush down for a minute. See how it's kind of dry there? I want to just give myself some water. And watch, see how the paint just glides? Because it's damp. Chalk paint works well with water. Every time you get chalk paint, it should be one of the first things you ask yourself, does my paint need water? Whether you're painting fabric or you're painting wood, we have to add water several times in a session. Back to that piping. And you want to really make sure you get the piping done the first time because it will peek through, and you're looking for coverage. Even though it's your first coat, you really are looking for solid coverage throughout the whole entire first damp coat. The damp coat is only done the first time, not the second coat. So tomorrow when we come in, we will not spray it with water. We will not add a lot of water to our paint because it's dry. We're doing that for that first absorption into the fabric. So I don't know, what are we at? Maybe 7 or 8 minutes into a video. And I did a lot of talking and a lot of intro on how to paint fabric. This is Sloan chalk paint. The color is graphite. This is painting fabric. You can also dye with Sloan. If I did like 2 tablespoons of graphite in a bucket of water, we could dye some, you know, curtains or pillow shams or pillowcases. And I think we should do a video on that. But this is just an inspiration video. Hopefully you can find something to paint fabric. This is Mindy from Half Moon Home Decor and Design here in Windham, Maine. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks. Bye-bye.